there's all kinds of fights in here. Fights that, I mean, we knew about several of the big fights, but not the ones inside. And that's what this book really is about, isn't it?
It's all about me, Billy. It really is. It's about my character defects. It's about my life outside the boxing ring. I mean, people have seen the finished product, which I present every day, on television, on the golf course, with my friends, family. But the biggest fight I face, or have been facing, I should say, is the one inside, my heart. What I've dealt with for over 30-some years, what I kept to myself, and what eventually I believe was one of the culprits that led me to drugs and alcohol.
You're talking mostly about, right? So, I mean, we see it every day, authority figures abusing their power. And in your case, you abused a coach, inappropriate with a kid who's coming up, learning to fight. You're looking up to this person. And that, right? I mean, is
absolutely
what we're talking about here.
Yes, we're talking about the fact that it was a coach, a boxing coach. But I want to be clear about this because apparently there seems to be, when they say Olympic coach, they think it's my coaches that for the 1976 Olympics. No, this was much, much earlier. I was 15, 16 at the time. And this was indeed an Olympic coach, but it was not those guys, Pat Nappy and Sergeant Johnson. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
But, it bothered me for a long, long time. It's not like it bothers me now. But not as much because I've been open with myself and revealing or surrendering or put my guards down for such a long period of time has really been therapy for me.
We hear this all the time with women. I mean, women, there's women all over the world going, hey, I've been violated too. I've been, I mean, you don't really hear with men. With men, there's still, a stigma on it. And for you to come forward, I think is very brave.
Well,
especially a guy who's known to be nothing but macho.
That's the key. That's been the key. The fact that I'm a guy, I'm a dude, I'm a
You're
fighter.
Sugar Ray freaking Leonard.
Sugar, I'm Sugar. all those things, Billy. It's hard. I mean, every now and then I lose it. I lose my emotional stability. I can't, for the most part, back in the day, I would lose it when I drank too much because my heart just got overwhelmed. But now when I get emotional, it's because I'm happy, but I'm it's still a painful period or point in my life.
You talk about, using drugs in here too. I mean, was that a surprise for a lot of people? You think that Ray Leonard, because you have such a clean image.
I don't think so, Billy. I think the fact that this was back in 1982.
I mean, you put the pieces together, it makes perfect sense. Here's a young guy. I mean, he's extremely young, right? He has to step down. You've got the detached retina, 26 years old, can't do what he's built to do. You got to find a way to prove yourself some other way, and usually someone who's immature acts out.
And you know what? When I did those drugs, it was cocaine, a lot of cocaine. And that cocaine, I felt uninhibited. I felt entitled. I felt I'm Sugar Ray. I felt I have money. I've done these things. People call me champ. All those things were factors in my indulgence of cocaine. I did a lot, man. I mean, it's a wonder I'm here today. I really believe the fact that I've still been blessed all these years because I consume a great deal of alcohol and cocaine.
Did you overcompensate for what happened to you with the coach, back when you were a kid with women? Did you overcompensate and just sort of tear down a bunch of ladies and take a lot of lovers and stuff?
No, that was just me. Being narcissistic, being selfish, being the champ, being felt wealthy, being famous, all those things. Again, Juanita, my first wife, she did everything in her power to try to save our marriage. You know what? I can't understand why she was with me so long. I saw her in Atlanta last week for a book signing, and we went to dinner. And we didn't we didn't talk about the marriage or whatever, how it failed, or how I failed her. But she smiled, and I knew that she
She wanted you to be free for all these
Yes,
years, and
yes.
and she smiled that you're
yes,
doing it.
yes.
How does your current wife feel about you having dinner with your ex-wife?
She said, "Ray, you never told me that." But
You had dinner with who?
But who? But no, Bernadette. You know,
I
she's
know
a
her.
wonderful lady and big heart, and
Confident.
exactly
Confidence is
yes,
very sexy, and she
confidence,
is a
yeah.
confident woman.
And you know, again, she just knew that it was time, and she glad I made that connection.
That's outstanding. And it's funny, I went back to my 20th high school reunion. Girl I dated for 6 years, all the way through boarding school and then into college. And I told my wife, I'm going to this thing. And my wife said, do me a favor, will you? Keep all the conversations in the present and the future. So, greatest thing. I said, you know what? That makes sense. No reliving the past. Just
Right.
present and future. And don't get into what happened with the relationship, none of that. You made a lot of mistakes in your life. Do you regret? Do you have a lot of regrets, or will you not allow yourself to regret?
The only time I regret is I should say, when I hurt the people that I love and I know that love me the most, Juanita and Bernadette, and my kids. Regrets for things I've done, almost hurting myself or killing myself. I don't, because that made me a better guy. I become a better person. You know, I have so much to be thankful for, Billy. I have so much. I mean, I am a testament to, you know, doing the right thing now. I mean, I feel whole now. I feel full.
Did you ever want to be a professional boxer? Or
No.
didn't you, right after the 96 games, the 1976 Montreal games, didn't you just want to bow out and be done with it and not be a professional boxer?
Oh yes, I mean that was it. After the Olympics, my career was over, because I've heard horrible stories about boxers, champions who made it so much money and fame and ended up with nothing at the end of the day. So yes, I was going to University of Maryland. I had a scholarship, but my dad got sick when he had no money, and my mentor and my trainer, became my trainer, James Morton, said, "Ray, take advantage of this exposure from the Olympics and turn pro, make some money." I did that. I turned pro for the money to pay bills.
Money-wise, set for life?
I'm in a unfortunately a tax bracket that really have to pay. You know what I mean? You know what yes.
You're interested in the
does that
10%
answer-
flat tax.
Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes. That's amazing, though. Because you didn't want to go pro and you were so good at it. Were you afraid of like brain damage and things like that?
No.
Because you can't be afraid of that and step in the ring, or
There
you're
you go.
done.
Exactly. Fighters don't. We assume the risk factor. You don't think about getting hurt. You don't think about damage. You don't, because that's not you.
Has boxing damaged you at all? Or, I mean, because to me, you got all your faculties. But you know yourself better.
Has it damaged me? No. I think the fact that, you know, the success of boxing, being a champion, all this kind of good stuff, has distorted my way of thinking sometimes, making me think I can walk on water.
Cool.
Well, that's not cool.
But we all think you do. I mean, but you're not the only one who thinks this. I mean, if you ever thought that, everyone thinks that.
Yeah. But
Here's
good.
what I would
It's
do
good
to
and bad.
to be a beloved sports figure in world sports history. I give every limb, man. I mean, I say that, but that's great. You're a national treasure, man.
It's good. But can you? Let me change the topic for a sec. You challenged me today.
Yeah.
You
You lost some weight. I think I could, maybe take you if I had to. He loves it.
Yeah, I like it because it's
Now,
also,
let me just slide a little bit over here this way as I say that, because I don't believe your reach can get here. But I may be wrong. You may have like a third arm somewhere.
I know.
Yeah, you can't get there.
Tommy Hearns.
Tommy Hearns.
He could reach you.
He could reach me.
Yes, he could.
Your hands. You had the pain in your hands, right? I mean, to go for it. What fight was that? Was that Hagler when the hands were? You couldn't really continue, but you had to.
No,
You won in the end.
It was almost like most of my fights. My hands were always in pain. I used to get cortisone shots in my knuckles to minimize the pain and swelling. But yeah, I mean, it became a natural thing that I dealt with. The pain, the win was bigger than the pain.
Oh yeah.
The win was bigger than the pain.
Think of all the shots you've had in your life.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's amazing when I finally sit down, like I'm able to do now. I sit back and I take it all in, Billy. I take it all in. I look up in my gym and I see the Sports Illustrated covers that I've been on, and I look at my accomplishments, and I'm a blessed man. I mean, I have it all, but I had nothing back in the '80s. Because outside the ring, my self-esteem was at its lowest, and I drank, and I also did drugs to make myself feel I was okay. It sounds crazy, but it's true.
No, that's how they get their foothold. You aren't alone there. You aren't alone in what happened to you as a kid. I mean, I think in this journey, probably one thing you've learned is you are not alone. Probably scary numbers of how many people have abused themselves or been abused by others.
It is really something. When I do the book signings and I'm at my meetings.
You hear a lot of "Me Too."
Yeah, yeah. I get a embrace, a hug from a guy, from a dude,
Yeah.
from a man, and he may share a tear, and he says, "Thank you."
Yeah. He
I'm
feels
gonna-
better about it. If it can happen to Ray, then maybe
Oh.
it wasn't, and it's not my fault. That's what you learn in therapy. Not your fault.
But it was watching Todd Bridges
On Oprah.
on Oprah that made me reveal what I couldn't fathom letting anyone know, let alone the world know, that I was one of them too.
Who did you tell? Because you had to tell somebody right when you saw it,
well,
right?
the first person I told was Juanita,
Juanita.
and we kind of pushed it under the rug. We just pushed it away because it was uncomfortable, it wasn't natural. Then I told Bernadette 15, 20 years later, and again, we just kind of pushed it under the rug because no one wants to deal with something that is so far-fetched or so bizarre or so.
Have you had a therapist?
I didn't tell my therapist until recent. I mean, Billy. I mean, again, like I
Well,
said,
you'll tie it together to so many things in your life. It'll come back to that. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
be at the root of a lot of things.
my program, my 12-step program, has enabled me also to have the courage, to have the ability, the tools, to just let it on the table, just put it out there. Because writing this book took nearly 2 years, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but when I got to this point of the story, I was an emotional wreck. I was reaching for I was clawing for something, whether it was love or whatever, or just say, please please understand what I'm saying, because I was talking. I don't know. Just it was hard. It was just hard.
Of course. You got to, I mean, I hope at this point that you've, because anyone who's been in this situation begins taking self-blame. So, is it me? Which is that, did I do something wrong here? Is it something wrong with me? What have I done here? And then you realize, you have to get to that place where, no, it isn't 100% not you. Have you gotten there yet? Might be some more therapy there.
Yeah, there's therapy.
Keep that going.
Because I mean, listen. I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter, man. For God's sake, I could have knocked these two guys out. I don't know, but where my head was at that time, and what I wanted at that time, overrode everything. I don't know. I think I'm guessing. I hate I hate to. That's my take on it. But there are days that I go back in time and I think about that, and it's so vivid. The picture is so vivid. It's so clear, crystal clear, that
Sure.
I relive it, man.
You know what, though, Ray? Here's the thing. The moments you'll think about it, they'll never be really easy, probably. But the after moments, the other moments in your life, when you're not thinking about it, those will be richer and better.
Yeah.
And it'll be because of this one and the honesty and the truth you have with it. That's your life is you've enriched your life by doing this,
Without question. And like,
and the life of other people.
well,
A lot of other people have been in that situation. Too many.
I feel good about where I am in my life. I love where I am in my life. I love the fact that I'm a better father, husband, friend. You know, I am becoming whole now, but it's still a process.
Sure. Tell me about your friend Muhammad Ali. Have you seen him at all?
The last time I saw Muhammad was, I believe it was in Cincinnati. I presented him with an award, and this man still means as much to me as he meant when I was a young amateur boxer, because he stood and he stands for something bigger than boxing. He stands up and he's proud, and he's so generous. He gives back, and that was a warrior, inside and outside the ring.
He had the overt, he's an extrovert, overt confidence and machismo, and he floats like butterfly, he stings like bee. I'm pretty, I'm beautiful. All that wasn't you. Do you wish that you were more outspoken and with your bravado like him?
I'm pretty this, I'm this and that. Yeah, I wanted all that.
Because you are way prettier than him.
No.
I mean, yeah.
But there was only one Muhammad Ali, one Muhammad. And my personality is my personality, and what you see is what you get.
Well, if you speak to him, give him a hug or see him.
Okay, babe. Thanks, man.
Ray, the big fight, Sugar Ray Leonard, gripping read. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, babe.